what is lost in today's television is the process of getting a role. It's about as dynamic as text messaging and twittering and twatting or whatever you want to do. There was the casting agent. And in many, many occasions and many shows, the casting director had complete autonomy. He had the right to cast certain roles. Producer and director trusted that man or woman's sense of who would be right for a role. So you build a relationship with the casting directors, but they watched your work. They knew your work. And so when you were called in, they knew what that director or that producer, in case it was for a role other than what they could cast, they knew that you were right for it. It all depended what the producer and the director, what difference between you and the other person walking in. And there was an association. There was a level of power and great camaraderie between actors and casting agents. That slot has sort of been usurped because it's amazing today kids go in and they're on camera and they turn to the left and turn to the right and say a few words and say the same, and possibly they will be looked at that weekend or whenever a director or a producer set the time aside to look at that to decide which one they want. This was all done one-on-one. And that's what was so beautiful. And if it really was a decision between two of you, if it were a movie, then you would have a screen test for that part. But television was automatically decided at that time. You sort of knew if you had it when you walked out of the office. But you also had a relationship. That casting director was so important. And they're still important today, of dragging in somebody. But I don't know, a casting director in the days that I was in, especially in television, they never had 15 people come in for the same part. They would have maybe a max of 4 or 5. It's the old thing is producers and directors, you give them too many choices and they don't know what they want. I haven't seen it yet.
So those 4 or 5 choices when they would come in, were you up against consistently the same other actresses, or?
Oh, Mary Tyler Moore. Here's an amazing thing. Mary Tyler Moore used to be the same agency I was with. And we were the office somewhere, she said, did you get the part of, I said, yeah. She said, oh, thank God, maybe I can get a part next week, These are the people that you run into. Beverly Garland, who played your first female cop. Beverly Garland was always in a lot of contentions with me because she played that dramatic actress also. Barbara Hale and I, for a movie, a Houston Story, Lee J. Cobb. I was reading for the part. I was going to be in a Lana Turner movie at MGM. My agent got me out of that because he said, I know you can get this part. Tell them no on that now, so we'd be free to take off on this. I read for a certain part. They said, fantastic. Barbara Hale was up for the same thing. And basically, she wound up playing the heavy in the show, and I played the ingenue. And she had to bleach her hair blonde. I had to dye mine dark. And again, there's that crossover thing. Just tons and tons of, you came up against basically the same people for the various parts. Every once in a while, a new person would creep in. You would say, who is he or she?